But what is the legal test? So the legal test is the full code test set out in the Code for Crown Prosecutors. It has 2 stages that must both be met before a case proceeds. 1. The evidential stage. There must be sufficient evidence to provide a realistic prospect of conviction. Prosecutors assess whether an objective, impartial, and reasonable jury or bench of magistrates properly directed and acting in accordance with the law is more likely than not to convict the defendant of the charge alleged. This is not the same as the criminal standard of proof beyond reasonable doubt that applies at trial. It is a lower threshold focused on whether the evidence is strong enough to justify putting the case before a court. Okay, that makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Obviously, you don't want to waste people's time. So you need to have evidence in order to go to court. 2, public interest stage. Even if the evidential stage is passed, prosecutors must decide whether a prosecution is required in the public interest. Factors considered include the seriousness of the defense, the circumstances of the defendant and victim, the impact on the community, and whether prosecution is a proportionate response. A prosecution will usually take place unless the public interest factors against it clearly outweigh those in favor. Only if both stages are satisfied will the CPS authorize charges. Okay, the CPS has repeatedly emphasized that its role is not to determine guilt, but to assess whether the available evidence meets this legal test so that a court can decide the facts. This is the same legal test referred to in past CPS decisions, including earlier reviews of complaints involving the Tate brothers. So we just got into a little bit about the 2012 to 2015 allegations, which were the initial allegations of the brothers, okay? That's kind of where it all began.